When building this rig, I wanted it to feel special, so I asked Quentin Tarantino to dig up Marlon Brando's body, and we used his bones to chisel out the final touches of the magic arm. I'm happy with the results.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So you got a bunch of noobs out there with their cages and things squirting off of them. And this is built for cinema rigs. It's got a tripod screw on top and one on the bottom. This arm was originally screwed onto the body, and then I decided to put it here, and I was like, oh wow, that's so much better balanced. It was really back heavy, man. But I made do. So first I explain the rig, and then we get into the results. The magic that happened. As soon as I got into the forest, creatures were coming towards it. They wanted to be in the show. Things I've never seen before. It was amazing. So we have some help. Obviously, the Smallrig battery plate is key. Without that, this thing does not work. Mine, I got a faulty body. That's on me. I saw it shut off, and I was like, what's wrong with that? And he's like, oh, the batteries, they're old. It doesn't matter how new the battery is. This body will never take a battery. So, Smallrig to the rescue. They got this. It plugs right into the side. Boom, bam. And then this lasts all day long. I don't even need to bring a spare. Thankfully, it would break my back if I did. They're heavy as hell. Why did I say thankfully? It didn't fit the sentence. Then we have a monitor. Is this the best budget monitor? I don't know. I highly doubt it, but Neewer sent me a monitor, and it works. It works great. I could see there was no lag. The peaking worked good. There's no like frills to this one. There's no like false color, nothing fun, but it works. And this little battery that I did not even attach to it lasted all day. I left it on the whole time. I went for a good 2.5 hour walk. Never once did I turn this off. In fact, I did in the beginning turn it off, and then I saw the magical creature, and I was like, oh my god, it's not working. What? After that moment, I just left it on to see what would happen. Is the battery gonna last? And it did. So, nice little monitor. You got the sun hood you can see outside. It's just a little awkward to line up your shot. And the last piece to the puzzle is this magic arm, also from Neewer. They're a good company. They make solid stuff for half the cost if it was a foot. I like it. They're always like the cheapest thing on Amazon, and yet solid metal, nothing wrong with it. So you can position it the way you want. It was not like this when I went out. This is the improved version of what you're seeing. Notice how it's lined up. So I point at something, I'm looking at that. It was up here, because this arm like triggered from the body in a L-like fashion. It was getting really annoying because I'm looking up here and trying to line up the shots, and I could barely do it. Eventually I could, but this would be much better. It's like, okay, yeah. Is it the perfect rig? No, but it worked. And eventually I will get a cage for this, and then this battery goes to the side, a much smaller, lighter arm for the monitor on top. That might work. I almost didn't tell you what camera or lens, like it was that obvious. Blackmagic Original OG, boom, 1080p only, 24p, 12-bit RAW, internal to SD cards. Fantastic little guy. Leica 200mm prime, Tony 2.8, best lens I've ever used, hands down. The creamiest tonne, just the sharpest. Prime Leica 3D pop, it's there. Beautiful. And then the Freewell ND filters. It was a 2 to 5 stop. I found that was enough on a cloudy day. That was nice. In sun, I might have died. It's heavy. 2874 grams. It's insane. My Sony full frame with the 200 to 600 is 3116. You're pushing right up there, and it felt heavier somehow. Just the weight balance of it. I don't know, man. That's a hefty beast for a 1-inch sensor. I'll tell you that much. But the cinema was ours. Now immediately, as soon as I got onto the trail, I see a raccoon on the trail. Never in my life have I seen that. He was peeking up over a hill. I was like, oh my god, the monitor's not on. So I'm looking through the back screen until the monitor turns on, and I'm almost getting him in focus, and I was like, press record now. I've learned something. don't just aim for the focus first and then press record, because sometimes by the time you get focused, the thing's gone. So press record and then at least the story is there. So I did that. Here we have the raccoon. I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I'm trying to focus. He bursts through the weeds. And then I was like, where is he? Did he climb up that tree? Oh, there he is. Okay, he's staying there. He knows I'm here. Okay, let's calm down. My heart's beating 1,000 minutes per second. And I focus on him. He's smelling me. He's weary of my presence. He's like, okay, what is his purpose here in the forest? Does he want to kill me and eat me and my family? I'm gonna leave. No, I'm not. Let me just check this out. The cinema was ours, my friend. He peeked behind a tree. There was rustling leaves in the background. Soft, dewy lighting. It was a raccoon. Blind in one eye. Most likely fearful of nothing. And then he was like, okay, he doesn't smell dangerous. He smells like a vegan. He has no strength. I could chop him in half if I needed to. Okay, I'm going to make my break for it. And he did. He slowly came down, used to me. He's like, okay, he's probably not going to kill me. I'm going to keep my eye on him. I'm a little afraid, but whatever. All right, I'll just go backwards down the tree. I can do that. Can you? No. Okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to leave. I'm on the ground. I'm gone. Thanks for the moment. So first impressions of the first shot. It was a little shaky at times. It was so stable at other times. It's just lens stabe. And I was like, okay, it's working. And then minor little movements. I noticed, like, if you move out of a certain range, it jumps. But if you don't, it's good. Like, super solid. Better than anything. So totally usable. And a little digital stabe after will probably save you. It could. It's just not going to keep up with fast action. Like, I saw this squirrel. I was like, okay, oh, what? He jumped at me. Okay, oh boy, refocusing. What are you doing? But oh, okay, see you later. Then I see this great egret. I'm like, are you serious? What is with the magic today? I was in the worst position possible, but eventually I got some good shots of him. And he caught some fish too. I swear he did. Beautiful. There's a duck in the background. I didn't even notice that. Wow. Wow. Here's a terrible moment where he did catch a fish. Look at it. Boom. It's the worst angle ever. I was behind 15 yards of trees, but he got it. But those are some majestic birds. Look at those back feathers. They got extra feathers on the back. And he waved at me, I think. And then he was like, come around or something, because this is a bad shot, buddy. Why are you even standing there? And so I did, and he was tense. He was waiting to pounce on something, you could tell, just like I pounced on the Blackmagic OG. It was a great deal. So glad I did it. And he's about to do it. He's like, there's something, I'm gonna eat it. Oh my God. Oh, he swam, he noticed that. Oh man, that was large steps. Oh, my mom told me never to do that. I see why now. Yeah, he ended up doing very little with that assault, but we got the shot. We got the shot. There's something about it. It's not the sharpest image in the world, but it's a pleasing, like 1970s look. It's fantastic. Then I kept hearing this call that I was like, what is that? Where are you? And I'm looking, and eventually I saw it. I think this is that northern flicker. They flick. They do. And I saw him, and I was like, okay, because this lens is, it's almost 600 mil equiv. So it's like a 600 mil prime. You can hear him with the wonderful Blackmagic audio. What is that? That red-headed monster bird keeps eluding me somehow. But I saw him there. Wasn't the great, it was an upward angle shot, but eventually I will get an eye level. I think I already got one way back in Ottawa. It was like perfect shot. You'll never get a better shot than that. There were definitely some frustrating moments where I would see something, I'm like, I cannot get focused enough. It was lining up the shot, and then getting focus was not easy, and then also making sure that I wasn't overexposed. They were beautiful. It's not like the most ideal system designed for wildlife, but it works. Look at that red-winged blackbird. He's just chilling. He's like, wow, I'm in a movie. I finally made it, Mom. You sure did, buddy. And then the wind picked up, and he was like, oh no, it's like a danger scene. This is so awesome. Right? I'm in focus, right? There's nothing in front of me blocking me. Yeah, no worries there. Then I saw this red-winged blackbird on the floor, so I got right down there, and I was like, wow, we've never been on the floor with a bird before, as he searches for stuff on a bridge. Wow, bird on a bridge. That's the name of my next movie, that's all I know for sure. And then he ran away forever. He ran right away from me. Now this might have been the coolest shot. I was so close to him. We got 600 mil here, super sharp. And it is totally sharp. This is 1080p only, but it's a cinema camera. It just looks like a movie. I don't know if it's the dynamic range or the colors or what, but that's a beautiful image right there. Something Sony could never do. Canon wishes they could attempt it. Nikon forgetting they could even know what a camera is. This whole day made me realize the Blackmagic 4K with this lens, that has like 2.7K raw, 120 frames per second. I should have got that instead of this, but I'm a moron. And if I ever see a deal, I might pounce. Because this lens is magic, and this body somehow magic. 10 years old, still magic. But the newer upgraded with the better screen, you might not even need a monitor. You might though. I don't know if it's nice outside, but eventually I got annoyed with this system. I was like, you know what? No, I can't line it up. I'm taking it off, and I just used this screen. It was working, but it was a cloudy day. In the sun, no. But in a cloudy day, it was surprisingly good. And then I could line everything up right, and it was like, okay. Now here's something interesting. I saw Kingfisher. I'm at Tony 4. I realized that. I was like, oh my god, nothing's clipping. Why am I at Tony 4? Sometimes I had to because of the lightness, so I stopped it down and realized that would be a much better shot. And it was. It was better. Slightly more done and a little brighter. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty sharp. That's pretty sharp for how far he was away from me. Unbelievable. And then he did actually fly away from my life. He announced it. He was like, I'm going, and later. And I was like, tracking him perfectly. Thankfully, due to Topaz technology, I was able to slow it down 16 times with no visible loss in quality, and the interpolation was so perfect. I was like, wow, that's how they move. Oh, that's amazing. Links for Topaz available down below. So good. You could see so much good stuff with that. That was amazing. You let me down, Topaz. That hurt. Oh, there's no salvaging 24p footage. That's painful. I saw a duck. I rule of thirded him into a lake, and the top half was a lake, and the angled rock is so cinematic. There was 7 movies written after seeing this shot. Just directors were approaching me from all angles saying, can we use this? I have an idea for a movie from this. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's a pretty good little rig for wildlife. It's surprising. I do prefer slow motion, but it was an interesting change to watch things actually as they are in life. And the macro capabilities were surprisingly, I was almost like, that's on the forest floor. I just had to back away a little bit. And like, that's 600 mil focusing like very close. And because of that, like extra crop with the less than 1-inch sensor, it magnifies things so much more than if it was a micro four thirds sensor. So you get extra macro with a smaller sensor. I saw a bird bathing. She leaped out of the water and I was like, no, go back. And she did. She listened to me because I had a Blackmagic cinema camera. She's like, okay, a little more. I'll be in the movie, right? Yeah, we can't pay you, but there are some seeds sometimes in the trees near you. So look for those. Look out for those. And she did. I stumbled upon a patch of grackles. There was like 6 of them all around, and this one I was like, oh, is he gonna leap up there? He didn't. He did not. He chose other thing. He leapt to his death. That's what he did. This was a cool shot. I was trying to get focused. The focus is not linear, unfortunately, so sometimes it just jumps on you, but eventually it's pretty smooth if you're going slow. It's easy to do, and you can see the peeking on his eye, so I was like, okay, you're in. And he's just like observing all the other birds in the forest as they fly by. He's just looking at them, and then he left my life forever. That's the closest I got to a grackle. He didn't do the big... Sometimes they puff up really cool, and it looks cool in slow motion, and I had neither, but I at least saw his eyes, and he's blue. That helped. Beautiful. Beautiful system. I'm totally happy with the footage. It's definitely harder to use than the Sony. Usually in Sony I'm in auto exposure, so I don't have to think about exposure at all. And sometimes the autofocus just works great too, but even the manual focus, it's much more sensitive and better and easier. And the viewfinder, that's so important. So it's not like the ideal wildlife rig, but it worked, and it's a special look. I had an idea for this magic arm. I was gonna attach it to a backpack clip, and then it would be like sticking out, but it's not really far enough. And then I would have the GoPro right here. I need a much longer one, and this end piece is not the same one that goes on the clip, so that idea died hard. It died a hard death. But that would have been fun with hyperview, things right here, and then hands-free vlogging, and we're walking places. That would have been a show. But sorry, Neewer, my idea died, and so did your business sales. I apologize. So thank you, Smallrig, for sending the battery thing. Thank you, Neewer, for the monitor and the arm. Smallrig also gave me a Blackmagic 4K half cage, but it doesn't fit. They don't make the cage anymore for this thing, so I was like, maybe that one will fit. They're like, yeah, give it a shot. It doesn't. It's a very proprietary bottom piece that does not fit. It's got pins, and so whatever. What do you think of the footage? Was it so glorious? Are you crying right now? Just wipe the tears, my friend. Like that. Towards the eye. It's best. I'm gonna leave. Are you buying a Camera Conspiracies t-shirt? Subscribe for more videos, Alex.